YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode here on ESGNet. And this is the Highland Scotties Sports Talk here on NCAA 14 for this Highland Scotties Team Builder series. So we are back here. This is episode 24, and we're going to do a quick video here, talk about what happened in week 6 of the NCAA as we get ready to take on, as you see there, the now 2-4 UMass Minutemen. This is a series that we'll have another game against them. I think we played them last year at home. Now we're playing them this year here. They're in Massachusetts. But anyway, we're playing them here this week, and this is pretty much a setup for a confidence builder coming up, because we have two tough games coming up here. We got number 19 ranked Wisconsin coming up in next week's game, and that is going to be a tough game. We'll talk a bit more about that. Of course, also too, we have LSU coming up here. We're on the road against them, so these are going to be some tough road games here, and we just want to get a confidence builder here for us. Now, week 6 was very interesting because there was a lot of things going on. There was, if you've seen the video there was a lot of upsets for a lot of top 10 teams there that did not do so well. We'll take a look at that here later on in the video. As you take a look here, look at some highlights of the game, pretty much a lot of scoring plays here. But it was a tough week for a lot of teams there. Highland, well, not so much the case there for them this week, as they did a great job of just really having a commanding lead on a lot of their drives, and only really one blunder came up at the half here, which we'll see here in just a bit, where Flanagan, getting a little too, gunslinger, a little too much like Brett Favre, and he threw that pick there, which was turned out to be a pick 6 going the other way, which was really the only score that really besides the field goal they got, really was the only score they really got in the game. And that was way of the defense. You see there, Hayes just picks that one off. No problem there. Doing a great job reading the quarterback's eyes. And of course, not, we're throwing to an inexperienced tight end there, which, Tolbert, he's been doing a great job stepping up his game from ever since we lost Cannon back in that, Georgia Bulldogs game. He'd been doing a great job there, but just a bad read there from Flanagan, and Flanagan ended up giving up 6 points there. So you see there, we're really doing a great job here, getting down the field. And for the most part, that was did a great job there. Defensive, of course, always stepping up, doing a great job there. There was 11 total sacks in the game. Of course, Sherman being the one of the top guys there. I believe it was Sherman and Ellis both have 3 apiece. So they had a great day there on the line. And then, of course, Flanagan, like I said, had 5 touchdowns. Of course, that 1 interception. But he also had 115 yards on the ground with 2 rushing touchdowns. There you see one of them there. That was the second one, I believe, he got in there. You see he got flipped over like that. Kind of got a little worried about that when I seen that. I'm like, hopefully he's going to be okay, right? But yeah, for the most part here, it was a great game there. And like I said, a great confidence booster in there, getting us ready for this week 7 matchup with Wisconsin. Talking to Coach Teddy Bonds after the game, he pretty much said, he was just running his offense. He wanted to get the guys ready to go, get them fired up, and get them just a confidence builder here for this week. Now, UMass did have some pretty close games the week before, but I think this really broke the straw on the straw on the camel's back. I think that's how the analogy goes. But anyway, this really hurt them. You see 66-10 there, the final score, as UMass just got manhandled in this one, and just offensively, we just just obliterated them. Especially, and that was only, like I said, the only blunder that we had was that pick 6 there. Other than that, I mean, it would have been a 66-3 ball game. I mean, there was times UMass towards in the second half there, I think in the third quarter when they got their first possession, they were moving down the field really good. But then just Highland just really did a great job of putting in. Coach Sabon's called some really good plays there, blitzing and just a lot of just putting pressure on Ford there, and Ford just could not do a good job of reading. He had a lot of guys. There was also coverage, wise. He just got, there was a lot of good coverage there from the defenders, and the defensive line took advantage of that and did a great job there of just wrapping them up and taking them down. So nice job there. Flanagan only got touched twice there in the sacks. So that was really nice to see the offensive line really stepping up there, and hopefully that will continue, and hopefully that will move on to next week. Take a look at their Kason there, 124 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns there. Of course, again, making his statement or making his case there for Heisman. Now he's got his teammate Flanagan, who just had a great game there, now trying to make a case for himself. Because remember, both of those guys were on the Heisman finals list there. I believe, Flanagan was 5th, and Kason was 2nd. Or no, third. Third. In the for the Heisman there. So they're really trying to make a case to be on that list here again, and maybe try to be 1 and 2. And at this point, Coach Dave Bonds, I asked him about that, and he's like, that is not an issue with me right now. The issue is, last year they, unexpectedly got to the national championship game, and of course he wants to beat Alabama. He wants to beat Nick Saban, and he wants to try to get this team on the map here. And I think I told him, I was like, Coach Dave Bonds, everybody is already talking about you guys. You guys are ranked 4th in the nation, and you guys made a very, even though you lost last year in the national championship, you made a very impressive performance there. And he said, you know what, that's all good and everything, but he says he wants more. He is hungry for more. And if you guys remember, I tell you guys about Coach Dave Bonds. He sees himself as a winner. He wants to make a good program, not just on the field, but also in the academic wise. And he expects these young men to go out there and perform and have a good game. And it's not all about money to him. He just wants to show these young men that they can do the impossible. And that's exactly what they've been. Last year that was no one was expecting them their first year being a division, playing with the big boys in the FBS school. Is one of the smaller, probably not, if not the smallest school in the NCAA, be able to play on this level. And they were very impressive. You had Kason, you had Flanagan, you had Sherman on the defense, along with Ellis. So pretty much everybody, with the exception of, I think we had 1 or 2 players that decided to transfer last year. Pretty much everyone that was in the national championship game last year, with the exception of some new people on the team, some freshmen, everybody was, it's here from last season. So, that I think that was the kind of the benefit for Highland, for this upcoming year, because they've that cohesiveness, that the camaraderie that is with that team. They have been showing that they are a team that not to be messed with. So. As you take a look there at some of the numbers and the team stats there, just really a very impressive game there for Highland, as they are able to just play their hearts out there. You see 770 total yards there for Highland, compared to UMass's only 164. Wow. So, and then of course look at the time of possession there. Just obliteration there. Highland just doing a great job there. Flanagan really doing a good job of just watching what he does. Now we're going to take a look here at the team news there. You see some of the team players there have locked us out or ready to visit, and of course we got some guys that are committed. We got Jesse Rhodes, who committed to Auburn. Cameron Morgan, one of our players that you guys submitted, he is now committed to Colorado. And then we got Bart Graham. Oh my goodness, that one of the Graham brothers. He is now committed to Nebraska. And then Scott Newman, he is committed. The tight end there we was looking at, he is committed to LSU. So that right there, I'm hoping, I'm really hoping that we can change Newman's mind, and he'll change his, he'll back out of that commitment there against LSU. Because we play them here in 2 weeks, and I mean, I'm getting ahead of myself here, and I'm getting all in the hype and everything, because I mean, this team has been playing very, very well, and going on the road here this week as we go to Madison, it's there's something in the air right now, something magical, that same feel that we had last season with this team to do what we did. Or I should say what they did. It was just amazing. I think that they can do that again. Jalen Richardson, another player that you guys submitted, has now been committed to Nebraska. So that's now 2 teams now that have committed to Coach Teddy Bonds' alma mater. Remember, he originally started at Highland because Highland was a community college, and he couldn't get into a D1 school until he would transfer to Nebraska. So Nebraska, his alma mater, and of course he was a former coach there from having him in on past NCAA games before YouTube. He played. He was a coach there. They have now taken 2 players from him, so I'm pretty sure he's convinced now that I wouldn't be surprised they were going to be on the schedule next season. So we'll take a look around here at the top 25 here going into week 7, and take a look there. Highland. That big game there, that Red River shootout, that was a game right there. I just could not believe Oklahoma out of the last drive there came back and win that one 21-17. Wow. What are some other upsets? I want to say where is it? A&M and Auburn. You see there at the bottom of your screen there. 27-21 was another big upset there. Auburn, and I believe they were ranked 6th in the nation, and now they got defeated. There you see Arizona. That was another one, 36-21 there against formerly now number 7 Washington Huskies there. We'll see there another big win there for Florida against LSU, 27-10. What else do we got there? Not an upset there. Georgia, they win that one 17-10 against Tennessee. But like I said, there was that upset there that I just could not believe. Nebraska, very impressive win there against Ohio State. And they lost. They were 22 ranked there. And I wouldn't be surprised if Nebraska makes a jump into the top 25 this week. Number 4, Florida State, they win 34-3. Utah State right there upsetted. Or no, USC came back. Wow, okay, because I was going to say Utah towards the end there, we never did get an update there. So USC won that game 41-38, a close game there. I want to say there was another upset there. Okay, maybe this was it. Virginia Tech. No, that was not the one I was looking at. Okay, there was another upset there. I can't remember who it was, but whoever it was just, I could not believe it. It was just like, wow, that had to be a really great game there. You see rivalry game between UCLA against Cal. And we'll take a look more other teams there. Now we just take a look at the NCAA as a whole there. Hopefully your favorite team won in week 6. As we'll see with Highland. You see Highland, of course, that big win there. And we'll talk about Wisconsin coming up here in just a bit. Wisconsin defense, as you know, Wisconsin has a great defense in that Big Ten conference there, so they're known for their defenses there. Of course, you got past alumni like J.J. Watt and so many others there who have played and just been very successful in their careers. And of course, they got those big linebackers here. They like to come at you blitzing. and just put pressure on your quarterback. And then, got some, linebackers that can pick, take the ball and zone coverage and can pick it off. And that's something we really going to have to watch out for in that game. Flanagan is really going to have to be really reserved. He's going to have to be, as one guy says, he's going to have to take a lot of Ritalin to be what we need him to be next week. The team will be actually traveling 2 days earlier to look at some game film, and then go on the field and practice there. Of course, we're going to be on the road there too, so we'll be there, and we'll have at least I've been trying to get an interview with Coach Teddy Bonds here the last couple of weeks, and he's a hard person to get a hold of. I could talk to him. We usually have our weekly chats and everything like that, but trying to get him on the show here, it doesn't really work out. Conflict of scheduling conflicts and stuff like that. Of course, he is a busy man. But at some point here, I already told him, I asked him to promise me eventually he's going to come on the show, and we're going to try to get him on the show here, and try to get him to talk about Flanagan. Of course, Hunter Cannon, he's going to be coming back here, I believe, after the LSU game. So we'll have him for the last couple of weeks. And of course, the question is he going to stay here next season after having a rough go, or is he going to try to go to the NFL? That is still in the question. As we take a look at the top 25 poll here, there's been some big jumps, some big falls there. You see Texas last week, number 6, now number 14. What else? NC State, number 5, now number 11. Auburn, number 3, now number 10. So we've seen a lot of teams in the top 10 have really fell, and we're one of the lucky ones that were able to get a win and stay up there. But it can easily be turned around, because you see there Wisconsin, ranked number 19, did not move anywhere because last week they had a bye week. So this is the game they've probably been marking on their calendar as like all other teams here that've been realize, hey, this team that came out of nowhere last year is now becoming a household name and everything. We want a piece of them. So we'll see the additional votes there. You see West Virginia, Stanford, Colorado, Nebraska, like I mentioned, Arizona State and Oregon State all got received some extra votes. And of course, Oregon State dropped out from last week from number 21. So your players of the week here, of course, you got the Arizona Sun Devils defensive tackle, redshirt senior Rennell Wren. He had 4 tackles, 6 tackles for loss, and 5 tacks, and I believe 3 sacks, forced fumble. And of course, Alice Flanagan, your other player of the week there for the NCAA. As for the independents there, of course, Flanagan, the redshirt junior, and the junior Sheldon Sherman there have a great game there. He had a really nice day, excellent game that last week there against UMass, and now we're just hoping that he can do the same thing going against these Badgers. Now take a look there as Hornbrook is the quarterback. He has 128 attempts for 77 completions. And there you see 1,054 yards for the season, 11 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. So he's been really good in the pocket, taking his time there, finding there. Only 3 times in the season he has given up picks. Take a look at Wisconsin's schedule there so far. Some pretty good games there against Bowling Green, 38-14. They had a very close game there against the Maryland Terrapins, 42-35 in overtime. And then number 24 ranked Michigan State. And then just last week, or just 2 weeks ago, because last week they didn't play, they played against Ohio State and they lost in overtime. So there you see the final score 38-35. So it was a very close game. Of course, probably a classic Big Ten game. But of course, Ohio State lost last week to Nebraska, as we've seen there. So you take it as you see it. Rushing there, 33 carries, 157 yards, no touchdowns for Wisconsin. They had 5 touchdowns there against that game against Ohio State. And there you see the time possession there. I mean, look at it. Just a very good game there. If you tell, I mean, those two teams have those time possessions. As for penalties, there you see 17 penalties for 126 yards. So Wisconsin, not a very disciplined team. I'm sure that Coach Dave Bonds is going to try to come up with some deep snap counts, try to draw them off sides, and get them in trouble, because that seems like to be the case. So if that might be one of the X factors, trying to get them to do that. But we'll have to see what Coach Dave Bonds has in store there, because he knows that he's not going to be able to do what he did last week against UMass, of course. But just trying to slow down, Wisconsin, especially on the offensive side there. They got some good receivers there that can really do some damage. There you see, they got 3 receivers over 50 yards, and 2 of them score twice. Pinson and Taylor both got in the end zone twice there. So the receivers there looks like they got some great hands there, and they can do some damage to us. And that is going to be something that, honestly, our secondaries, our corners and stuff like that have not been really challenged that often. I want to say probably it was the Tennessee game or the Georgia game that we were kind of challenged against that. And, we had to, play close to the opponent's receivers. We haven't seen that too much in the last couple of weeks. So that is going to definitely be a challenge for us, because that is one of our Achilles heels there on defense. Yes, we played a great game there defensively, but it was our linebackers and really our defensive line there. They did a great job there. But it's gonna be a trench war. There's gonna be a battle there between the offensive line and defensive line for both teams. There you see there, Herb Street he's gonna pick us for the week. So just take a look there. Points per game, 52 points per game. We're number 1 in the nation. They're number 7 in the nation with 41.3. And then, of course, there you see a lot of our numbers there that you see those arrows by are the top 20. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those of the 7 are in the top 10. So, and then you see the pass defense there. They definitely have a great or somewhat decent pass defense there. So, like I said, we probably won't be throwing too much. I mean, not deep. I'd probably say under the coverage there, because those linebackers can jump routes, and not to mention they also are known for their corners and stuff like that. Not like other big like SEC teams or something like that, but Wisconsin does have a great defense there. Now, also too, rushing. They've had great halfbacks coming out of there, and this is one of them, Jonathan Taylor, sophomore, 5'11", 218 pounds, and there you see his numbers and his stats there. He looks like a guy that we're just going to really have to try to wrap up quickly. We're going to have to shut that running game down. I mean, from the get-go. But also too, he's good in the back, coming out of the backfield and getting catches. So that's definitely going to be somebody that we're going to have to look out for, and just really try to manage as we possibly can. Taylor had a couple of rushing touchdowns, or no, he didn't have any rushing touchdowns, but he had quite a few rushing yards in that game against Ohio State. And I believe in that other overtime game that they won, the first overtime game they had over the season, he had some pretty big numbers there, if I remember correctly. So he is definitely a guy that, he can shake off, he can break tackles and get out of the backfield, with that great offensive line there, if need be. And so, it's hopefully we can get in there and just penetrate that offense, or the offensive line there, and get a hold of Tyler as much as we possibly can. There you see the other core or wide receiver there. As you see, Hornbrook, there you see a great over 78 or 89 overall. Speed, middle of the road. Acceleration, not that bad. But his awareness is very key. There you see his throw power and his accuracy right there. So he's definitely going to be a guy that we're going to have to put some pressure on, not let him sit in the pocket. We let him sit in the pocket for too long, he's going to be throwing darts every which way. And no, we just cannot have that. So, and like I said, our secondary is not the best at all. I will tell you that for the most part. And even talking to Coach Teddy Bonds, he says that is going to be something that they know they're going to be challenged about for that game. So, corners, safety is going to really have to tighten up, and they're going to really have to put the hurt on the receivers there. Coming in there, especially you even mentioned the linebackers. The middle linebackers are going to really have to put some oomph into their tackles there this week. Middle linebacker, TJ Edwards, there you see 6'1", 246 pounds. Senior red shirt there. You see his zone and cut man coverage there. Pretty good there for a linebacker. Not to mention his hit power there. He can hurt people like no other. And for the most part here, it looks like a pretty looks like overall just a great NFL caliber team. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes in the draft this season. And I looking at his stats earlier, I would say he's probably a good second, maybe a third round guy. So Nick Nelson, 5'11", 208 pounds, senior red shirt. There you see his numbers there. Great speed, decent, great acceleration. His man coverage, zone, and press, impressive there. He is a guy that we will have to make sure we have to find out where he's at, because we do not want to throw his direction. He could be a guy that could really be a pain in Flanagan's side in that game if he is if the ball's thrown in his direction. If he gets a chance to by the looks of it, he's got good numbers there. He's gonna try to pick us off as much as he possibly can. So we cannot give him any chances. Dixon, this free safety or strong safety there. Great speed, great acceleration, awareness is very key. Tackling not the greatest, but his man and zone coverage right there. So he knows what he's doing on the field. He knows where he's at, and play recognition is also top notch there. So Dixon, a guy 5'10", 205 pounds, redshirt senior. This is last year here, and let's not make it a good year for him. Let's try to avoid him. So like I said, not going to be throwing deep. They're going to have, if they want to get involved, they're going to have to come up, and I wouldn't be surprised if for too long there they'll come in to start blitzing. Just different. I can see Wisconsin just throwing us different blitz packages and just trying to get really underneath our skin there. So I would imagine that we'll see a lot more running, maybe not just from the halfback position, but maybe the backups will come in. And not to mention, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Rush come in to help out in the running department. I wouldn't be surprised if, at least talking to Coach Teddy Bonds, he was kind of hinting to that, having Rush come in as the backup quarterback, coming in there and getting a couple of some options, triple options, all that kind of stuff. So they're kind of changing up the playbook a little bit this week, but we'll see how things go coming up in that game. So there you see number 19, Wisconsin on the road. Yes, we're gonna have to be road warriors again this week and next week, because like I said, LSU is coming up next week. We'll talk about that next week in here on Scotties, Scotties Sports Talk. But week 7 coming up, and that video should be coming up here very, very soon. I want to apologize again. In the last video I mentioned that schedule's been kind of funky here the last couple weeks here. I've been trying to get ready for a trip, or I just got back from a trip, but I've been getting ready for a trip and just getting ready for a lot of different things going on. I got things going at work and all that type of stuff. So I just want to apologize to you guys about that. There should be a video coming up here very soon, a little bit of an update video about some things that were, been going on and why videos hadn't been posted on a regular basis, like this series and a couple other things. So like I said, I'm trying to get back on the routine of things and get things done. But for the ones that have been patient with me, thank you so much. You guys can follow us down below on there are links there from Facebook, Twitter, and Discord. Check us out there for the latest news and events on what's going on here on the channel and what's going on here on ESGN. What's going on here on the channel, what's going on really in sports in general. But most importantly, thank you guys so much, and stay tuned for more Highland Scotties football. And that is it for this episode, for at least this week, for Highland Scotties football here on the channel. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the series. I've been enjoying this, playing this so far, and I can't wait to show you guys the just if we can get them back to the national championship, that'd be so awesome. And hopefully we can play against Alabama to get revenge on them, so that'd be really nice. But we'll see how things go. But that is it for this episode. So don't forget to hit that bell notification if you guys have not hit it yet. Hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Please hit that. And also don't forget to hit the like. That'll help out others who are looking for this series here on the channel. So thank you guys so much for watching. As always, keep yourselves and each other healthy. And I will see you guys next time.